Hi, this video is going to cover percentage. So the learning goals for this video are to understand what a percentage represents, to represent situations using percentages, and to solve real life and financial problems using percentage. So a financial problem like a sale, like you want to know how much money you're going to spend before you even get to the cash register. Right? At least that's what I do. That way I don't get ripped off on change or something like that. So first off, a percentage is a ratio out of 100. So, for example, 40%, right? That just means 40 out of 100. So we can express that as a ratio or fraction and as a decimal. So 40%, again, if that means 40 out of 100, I can write it like this as a fraction. Now, if I divide, I can turn it into a decimal. So I can do I can do 40 divided by 100, which is 0.4. Okay. Now that's the same thing as 0.40. So you can see that there's 40s in all three forms. Let's do 8.5. So 8.5% just means 8.5 out of 100. So I can write 8.5 out of 100. Now if I divide that, 8.5 out of 100, I get 0.085. Okay? So again, there's an 8 and a 5 around there. And the last one is 110%, like your effort, right? So 110% means 110 out of 100. Now if we were to divide that, 110 divided by 100, we would get 1.1. Okay? Or 1.10 really. Okay? So you'll see later on that turning percentages into decimals is very important. But right now, we can also turn ratios as percentages. So 18 out of 20, right, looks like 18 out of 20 like this. So if we divide the two, it turns into 0.9, which is really 0.90. Now, notice that when we went from percentage to a decimal, we divided by 100. Okay? So if we want to go the other way, we're going to multiply by 100. So from decimal to percentage, we just do the opposite thing. We're going to multiply by 100%. And so let's just do that. So that's 0.9, right, times 100. So that gets you 90%. Okay? Let's do the other one. So 6 out of 15 just means that, right? Now if we divide those two, so that's 6 out of 15, we get 0.4. Oh, interesting, 0.40. If you want to turn that into a percentage, we multiply by 100%, so that becomes 40%. All right? So some basic skills involving percentages, switching them in various forms, and also turning the ratios into percentages. So we're going to do some calculations involving percentages. Here are a couple examples. They're a little bit different from each other. So in a school election, Jane received 65% of the 1,200 votes for president. So we want to know how many students voted for her. So let's do this first as a proportion. So 65%, right, means 65 out of 100. Well, there were a total of 1,200 votes for president, so the total goes on the bottom, right? And then the 65% is, I don't know what that is. Right? So we can multiply both sides by 1,200, right, to solve for this. Right? That way the 1,200s will divide out. So x is equal to, and we do 1,200 times 65, right, divided by 100, which is 780. Now take a look at what we just did here. We multiplied the total 1,200 with 65 out of 100. Now that's, if we divide that, that turns into 0.65. So really what I'm doing is I'm doing 1,200 times that percentage as a decimal value, 0.65. And if I do so, I get 780 as promised. Okay, so this is a shortcut way of doing it. This is a longer way, but whichever one works for you, you should do. Okay, let's do a separate question here. Jack earns 3% commission on sales. If he wants to earn $120 in commission, how much would he have to sell? So this question is quite a bit different because compared to the first question, this is the total, right? 1,200 was the total amount. But here we don't have a total. That's what we're trying to find out. We only have a part of the total, $120, which represents 3%. So let's create a proportion. So 3% means 3 out of 100, and that's equal to, well, 120% really is 3% of a larger value. So to solve for a variable like this in a proportion, we first have to have x in the numerator. So we can do that by flipping this fraction. That means we have to flip this one. Afterwards, we multiply both sides, right, by 120 to get x. Okay. So x is equal to, and we do 120 times 100 times 100 divided by 3. Okay, so that's 4,000. Right. So he would need to sell $4,000 worth of stuff. So again, but take a look here to figure out the total. We did 1,200, right? And we multiplied the flipped version, right? Now, if you remember, when you divide fractions, that really means you're multiplying the reciprocal or the flipped version. So this is essentially the same thing as 120, or the part, dividing by the percentage. So the shortcut would be, in this case, 1,200 divided by 0.03, okay, because that's 3% as a percentage. So 1,200, sorry, not 1,200, 120, typo. Okay, so 120 divided by 0.03. Let's figure that out. 120 divided by 0.03, again, gives you 400. All right, what do you know? So that is 4,000. Oh, something's wrong with me. Okay, so here's a shortcut if we want to figure out what the total is by dividing the percentage. But if we only want to know a part of the total, okay, or just a part of the total, we actually multiply with the percentage. Okay. So let's extend the use of percentages in discounts and taxes. So here's a situation. A pair of jeans, they were $45, are on sale here at 40% off. So we want to know what the price is after the discount and 13% sales tax. So we're going to start with the discount calculations. So it's $45. Okay, I want to know what the 40% off is. So I'm going to multiply that by 0.40. Now, if I do that, 45 times 0.4, I get $18. So that's the amount that is off. That's not the price after the discount. Okay, we want the sale price, so we're going to subtract the two numbers. So that should give us $27. So that's the sale price. But now it's subject to tax. In this case, 13% sales tax. So we're going to do $27. We're going to multiply that by 0.13. Okay. So 27 times 0.13 is $3.51. Okay. So his total will be 27 plus 3.51, right? Because tax adds on to the price, and that becomes $30.51. Okay. So we find out what the discount is and then subtract it, and then we find what the tax is and add it. Simple as that. All right, so let's go over some success criteria. So you'll be successful if you can convert percentages into fractions or decimals, write ratios as percentages by simple division, calculate the percentage of the whole, right? That involves multiplying by a percentage. And then calculate the whole given a percentage. So in this case there, you would have to divide. And then we're going to apply percentages, or you should be able to apply percentages to solving problems, including discounts and taxes. So here are a couple questions. Why don't you read them, give them a shot, pause the video, and when you're ready to check your answer, press play. Good luck. All right, so we want to know what 0.5% out of that 15,000 are that are defective. So we can use that quick shortcut of 15,000. We're going to multiply by 0. Ooh, now what is that as a decimal, right? That's a little bit tricky. 0.5, we have to divide that by 100. So that becomes 0.005. So let's just figure out what that is. So 15,000. Okay. We're going to multiply that by 0.005. And that becomes 75. Okay. So 75 items were defective. Okay. Let's look at the next one. So a dinner bill automatically included an 18% tip, which was $33.21. We want to know how much was the dinner, or the whole price, right? So because this is asking about a grand total, and you're given a small percentage of it, we need to divide, okay, by the percentage there, 0.18. So 33.21 divided by 0.18. You get $184.50. All right, let's try another one. So this involves discounts and taxes. So go ahead and read the question, and when you are ready to give it a shot, go ahead, pause the video, and then press play to check your answer afterwards. All right, so here's the original price of that computer, where it's going to be 15% off, and then we're going to add a sales tax of 13%. So first, we're going to calculate the discount. So we're going to do $749. We're going to multiply that by 0.15. So let's figure out what that is. So 749, 9 times 0.15. That's $112.35. So that's the discount. So we have to subtract it from the price. Okay. So when we subtract $749 by $112.35, you get $636.65. All right. So now we have to apply the sales tax. So $636.65. We're going to multiply that by 13%. Let's multiply that by 13%. So that's $82.76. That's $82 and what was that again? 76 cents. All right. So once we have the tax, we're going to add it back to the original price, right? Or to the new price. So $636.65 plus $82.76. So we add them up. Plus 636.65. So that's $719.41. All right. So you must convert the percentage into either a fraction or a decimal in order to work with it. You know, notice that we never multiply by the percentage itself, okay, in percentage form. Reflect on the result, okay, and please use common sense when you're evaluating your answer. Okay, so if you're getting 40% of 100, okay, don't think it's supposed to be 4,000. Okay, so again, please make sure you use common sense and take a step back when you're finished answering the question. All right, so I hope percentages are clear. Thanks for watching and best of luck.